New York is calling. Dive right in. The Marlins are in the city to meet and greet the Mets. 3 days, 3 games, 3 chances to slow down New York. The Marlins are looking for a spark. The series and Game 1 starts in the Big Apple next. And in New York for the weekend are the Marlins. Swept in Pittsburgh, off day yesterday. And now they meet the Mets, a team that beat up on the Marlins in early April. A chance for some revenge, a chance maybe to get that spark. Citi Field out in Flushing for 3 games. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. If you're going to find a spark, no better place to start than the bright lights, big city, Big Apple, against a ball club, the Mets, that's hot as well.
And against their best that they have to offer, Matt Harvey.
Matt Harvey is on the mound. I guess the Dark Knight Rises has become appointment television and a big fan draw here, and why not? He's been dynamite. He's fun to watch, and the Marlins have seen a lot of him.
Yeah, they have. He's had 5 career starts against the Marlins. He's won 1 game. He won that game earlier in the year here at Citi Field. Picked up some strikeouts. He's got that nasty slider, good curveball, power fastball. His career ERA, though, against the Marlins is over 4, so they have had opportunities when they've hit him a little bit. His last time out, not so good. Shortest outing of his career, 4 innings, gave up 6 hits and 7 runs at PNC against the hot Pirates.
The starter for the Marlins that has given them their best opportunity to win ball games has been Dan Herron. He has been a real nice addition to this rotation.
He sure has, and he's become somewhat of a leader on that staff as well. Dan Herron has done a little bit of everything. 6 innings last time out in a game where he didn't really have his best stuff. That was a 1-0 13-inning win against the Baltimore Orioles. So the veteran finesse pitcher against the younger power pitcher tonight.
And it's the Marlins against the Mets, which is always fun to watch. In New York tonight, in the lineup, hitting cleanup, Justin Bour. His arrival in 2015 has been a welcome sight. Large crowd expected on this Friday night. The Dark Knight is here and ready to go. And I'm not talking about Craig Minervini, but he's here as well. Hey, Craig.
Hey, Rich, how are you? And good evening again, everybody. Boy, Michael Morris went down with that right finger sprain. He's on the DL. Good news, no fracture, so hopefully a little rehab will be back sooner than later. In the meantime, Justin Bour taking advantage of the opportunity, giving the Marlins some much-needed pop from the first base side and the left-handed side, which is nice to have in your lineup. And he kept it going the other night. In his 11th start of the season, he hit a home run. That's his third home run of the year. He's hitting well over 350, in fact. And he told me today that getting those regular bats helping his confidence in production.
It's nice to get that feeling that, you're not just going to get one at bat. You might have an at bat later in the game where you can help the team, so there's not as much, I don't want to say pressure because there's always pressure in every at bat, but it is nice to, get some consistency and kind of be able to go to the field with a plan each day.
Bour also helping the Marlins off the bench, 5 for 12 as a pinch hitter, but it's his big left bat, and the Marlins need it with the last amount of extra base hits in the league this year, tied with Chicago. They need some punch. He's giving it to him at first base. Well, more ahead, and a good matchup tonight. It's Dan Herron going against the Dark Knight of Gotham, Matt Harvey. Game 1 of this 3-game series is coming up.
Florida is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at FloridaCoastEQ.com. By AutoNation, save on over 70,000 vehicles now. Visit AutoNation.com. And by H. Gregg, top brands, low prices, fast delivery. Gregg's got it. Yeah, but can he skateboard that dog? Marlins and Mets in Flushing. First of 3, Matt Harvey takes the hill, and it's the Marlins and the Mets. The first time the Fish were in here, they were swept in 4. Jam Lexus brings you their lineup. The Fish go with D. Gordon in the leadoff spot. He's got a 6-game streak. Gordon with 3 hits on Wednesday in Pittsburgh. Martin Prado, Giancarlo Stanton's in right, Justin Bour in the cleanup spot. Marcell Ozuna in center. Christian Yelich is back. Has perked up. He's in left. JT Realmuto, the catcher. Adeiny Echeverria in the 8th spot. And Dan Herron will hit 9th. And there's a look at 26-year-old Matt Harvey.
Kind of an interesting run that Harvey has been on. We've talked about his last outing, his worst and shortest of his career. Gave up home runs to McCutchen and Alvarez. It's only the third time in his 45 career starts he's given up multiple home runs. Even in the win he had against the Marlins earlier in the year, he gave up 8 hits and 4 runs in that game. That was a 7-6 Mets win. The last win for Harvey was back on May 1st. He's gone 4 starts with a couple of no decisions and 2 losses since that time.
The Mets are 0-4 in those 4 starts. Here's the defense brought to you by BMW for the Mets.
All right, we'll check it out. The veteran Michael Kadire is in left field. Juan Lagares, a terrific center fielder. Curtis Granderson in right. How about Tejada goes over to play third base. Wilmer Flores has 9 errors. He's at short. Daniel Murphy with 5 errors, so 14 errors between Flores and Murphy up the middle. Lucas Duda has done it all offensively and defensively. And Kevin Plawecki is the catcher.
Yes, lots of Batman garb whenever Matt Harvey starts. Here's D. Gordon. Fastball up. Whoa, late call there by home plate umpire Mark Carlson for a strike. Pinch a Penny brings you this first pitch. Gordon, Prado, Stanton. And Harvey drops an off-speed pitch in for a strike. Quickly, it's 0-2. See the numbers for Gordon. Continues to lead the National League in hitting and in hits by a great margin. And a 98-mile-an-hour heater. Down goes Gordon. 3 pitches and a strikeout for Harvey.
Well, I tell you what, Matt Harvey didn't waste too much time to go upstairs with 98. Big-time stuff. He certainly does, as we check the scouting report. He kind of has a cutter-slider blend, good curveball, pretty good hitter. Maybe not as good as Noah Syndergaard has been lately, but Harvey not too bad.
Here's Prado now, and a fastball misses. Well, 98 miles an hour. There's no doubt that he can bring it. His rehab from Tommy John surgery a little bit longer than most. Harvey missing all of last year. He wanted to come back at the end of last year, and the Mets decided, you know what, probably not a good idea. Let's take an extra 4 or 5 months on the rehab. 1-1. The Mets have announced that when Dylan G rejoins the rotation, they will go to a 6-man rotation.
Yeah, you know what? When you read into that, it certainly accommodates Harvey, but it also accommodates the 42-year-old Bartolo Colon as well.
Here's the 1-2. Strike 3 called. Harvey strikes out Prado. Well, he's thrown 7 pitches, and he has 2 strikeouts.
There's that curveball, kind of backed up. It was up in the zone, but he just caught it. You don't usually get a called third strike on a hanging breaking ball, but it was in the zone.
Stanton goes after that 99-mile-an-hour heater and fouls it straight back. The count's 0-1. 13 homers, 42 RBIs, second in the National League. The 13 homers is third. 97 on the black.
Wow, he's locked in. So is Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire.
Ten pitches, 3 strikeouts. The Dark Knight is in the house. Herron sets his sights on the New York Mets. 27-21. JM Lexus brings you their starting lineup. Curtis Granderson leads it off. Ruben Tejada in the 2 spot. Lucas Duda having a fine year at first. Daniel Murphy, look where the average is now. It's at 279. Michael Kadyr's in left field. Wilmer Flores is the shortstop. Juan Lagares in center field. Kevin Plawecki doing the catching. And Matt Harvey is slotted 9th.
Well, now you have the polar opposite. The pitcher who works corners, in and out, cutters. And Dan Herron has been steady all year. 146 career wins, 4-2 this year with the Marlins.
Curtis Granderson, Ruben Tejada, and Lucas Duda. Bottom of the first, Granderson's numbers. Granderson still not exactly where the Mets would like him to be. His on base percentage at .340. But actually faring a bit better than he did last year, his initial year as a Met. Pulls a ground ball that Bohr snatches, flips to Herron, and he gets to the bag to get the out.
Yeah, Justin Bohr continues. We'll continue with the defense, brought to you by BMW. There's Yelich, there's Ozuna, there's Giancarlo in the outfield. Prado and Echeverria, D. Gordon. Talked about the Mets and the errors they've made. Just 3 for Etch, 2 for D. Gordon. Justin Bohr has played flawlessly. And JT Realmuto behind the plate.
Much has been made of Justin Bohr's bat, but his defense has been very nice as well.
Always gives good feeds to the pitcher, too.
First pitch swinging, Ruben Tejada. Prado throws him out. And you're very much accurate when you say it's such a great contrast in styles between Harvey and Herron. And yet Herron in 5 pitches has 2 outs.
Let's just say this. Every half inning, the radar gun will get a half inning off. They can reload, put in new batteries. But Dan Herron has been just as effective all year. And I thought his last start, threw about 30 pitches in the first inning, threw 115 in the game. Maybe not his best stuff or command, but he really battled. He really worked. And it was a perfect veteran performance.
For those of you that are fans of extra innings, Dan Herron's last 2 starts have both been 13-inning affairs. And he gets a strike. Runs the count to 1-2. Duda, 15 doubles, 8 homers, 23 driven in. The Mets certainly needed guys like Duda and Murphy to pick up the slack when David Wright went down with his back injury. Once the calendar turned to May, Murphy's been on fire. And Duda, a nice start in April, and he's kept it pretty much in May. That's deep. Ozuna has room, and he makes the catch. A pair of 10-pitch first innings for Harvey and Herron. Marlins game. Choose between new Celebration Club Party or the Sea Creatures Birthday Bash. You get an inclusive food package that comes with birthday cupcakes for everyone. Who doesn't like cupcakes? Parties are available for groups of 20 or more. Go to marlins.com/groups. 1-877-MARLINS. Matt Harvey, Justin Bour. Fastball, pulled, foul.
You knew that Justin Bour, who's facing Harvey for the first time, would go up there and jump on something right away. Big home run in Pittsburgh, 3 for 9 in that series.
Wasn't a whole lot of mystery for Harvey in that first inning. Lots of fastballs, all of them upper 90s like that.
Wow.
He has struck out 3, and he's out in front 0-2 to the fourth man he's facing, and that's Justin Bour. You watch Harvey on the mound, you feel the electricity in the ballpark, you see the stuff, and it just reminds you that in 3 weeks to a month, Jose Fernandez is coming back. That's another bolt to right, and Granderson is there, and he makes the catch on the warning track. That ball was well struck.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, the update on Jose, Monday, he'll be pitching in an extended spring game. So it's the first game, real game activity he'll have. Probably 45 to 50 pitches in that game.
Monday night, Marlins and Cubs. And we will have footage and some sound from that start for Jose. Here's Ozuna now.
The best numbers of any Marlins hitter against Harvey are Marcell Ozuna, 4 for 9 with a triple.
Ozuna, a couple hits in Pittsburgh. A ball and a strike. Dan Jennings and the Fish, off day yesterday. Mets were off. That was after sweeping the Phillies. And Ozuna swings and misses.
There's a 90-mile-an-hour slider. And you know what, Rich? I think everybody enjoyed, it was well needed and deserved, the off day yesterday.
1-2. In and out of the glove of Plawecki. Harvey using the heat. Dan Herron using location and changing speeds. And he got him on a breaking ball.
Remember the game that Harvey beat the Marlins here in New York on April 19th. Gave up 4 runs and 8 hits in 6 innings. Afterwards, we found out he wasn't feeling very well and almost didn't make the start. He looks pretty healthy tonight.
Christian Yelich. Fastball runs away. Yelich, 4 hits in Pittsburgh, including a home run. That home run coming on Wednesday.
Put together a nice 5-game hitting streak.
He very easily could have had 2 home runs on Wednesday were it not a great catch by Starling Marte. And it's 1 and 2. Heat up and in at 98. And this large crowd.
He's had a couple of fastballs in this inning that he's overthrown. That you can tell he's trying to throw it 100. He's gotten it to 98. But he's missed upstairs.
2-2. Outside corner. Yelich doesn't like it. Mark Carlson rings him up. And Yelich has reason to beef. Look how far outside that pitch is.
You want to say to the umpire, he's got good enough stuff. You don't have to give him pitches like that.
trip to the Major League All-Star Game on Fox, where you and 3 of your friends upload 2 photos. FoxSports.com. Fantastic All-Star. Now through June 3rd. There's a selfie. Did Batman have an iPhone? Heron misses out.
You never know what he carried around in that utility box.
Daniel Murphy, Michael Kadire, Wilmer Flores. Murphy sprays one Prado's way, and he throws across the diamond and gets a hot hitter out. There is 1 down, and here comes Kadire. So Heron threw 10 pitches in the first inning. Michael Keaton is here tonight. Matt Harvey threw 10 pitches in the first inning. And here is Kadire. Harvey has struck out 5 of the first 6 he's faced. Heron has 3 ground ball outs of the first 4 he's faced. And that pitch a strike for Kadire. Kadire drives it right center, and that's going to get in there off the wall. Stanton has it. Kadire's on his way to second, and he's in there with a double.
That's amazing. You get Michael Kadire at home, and all of a sudden he's a different hitter. Kadire hitting 195 on the road, but here at Citi Field, a 322 hitter.
And this week against the Phillies, and now this at bat, Kadire 7 for his last 15. Wilmer Flores, whose name doesn't strike fear into many opponents, but the Marlins know better. You see on the season a pair of homers, 5 runs driven in. He's hit some big homers at Miami's expense. Look at that, 321, 4 homers in 15 games. Busts his bat. Gordon approaches. Kadire gets to third, and Flores is out.
You know, a good pitch there to get him to break his bat. Yeah, the frustrating thing, Flores, a 242 lifetime hitter, but you saw the numbers against the Marlins.
Juan Lagares now, center fielder for the Mets. The Mets find themselves just a game and a half behind the Washington Nationals. The Nationals getting some bad news. Jason Worth hit by a pitch and a fractured wrist.
That's the 3rd time he's fractured that same wrist.
Nationals are in Cincinnati tonight. That game is in the 2nd, and the Reds have a 1-0 lead. Phillies are home against the Rockies. Colorado 1-0 in the middle of the 2nd. And Atlanta's in San Francisco later tonight. It's an interesting place, the National League East. Atlanta's 5 back, 1 under. And the Marlins right now trying to get themselves out of the basement. 10.5 back. 2-1. Three and 1.
You see a lot of that pitch wasn't any more outside than the one Harvey struck Yelich out on. You have to be careful if you're Mark Carlson and not get caught up in everything. The crowd gets going when he gets 2 strikes, when Harvey gets 2 strikes on a hitter. You have to be careful as an umpire not to get caught up in that.
3-2 to Lagares with Kadire at third. Crowd still arriving here on a Friday night in Flushing. Real Muto blocks it. Lagares walks. And rookie catcher Kevin Plawecki.
That's a pitch from a veteran pitcher. Dan Heron is saying, I'm going to try to make a perfect pitch, get Lagares to chase it. If I miss with it, no worries. I can go after the number 8 hitter, Kevin Plawecki.
Remember, it was Travis d'Arnaud that was hit by a pitch in his hand. You see that crowd that is really starting to fill this place up. Travis d'Arnaud still on the disabled list. He's starting to play games.
Yeah, he's a few days away. Maybe not this weekend, but shortly after.
He's down playing ball games for St. Lucie right now. Plawecki, the Purdue product, getting his first taste of the big leagues. At the corners with 2 outs. Bouncer to short. Echeverria goes to Gordon and gets the out, and Herron is through the second. Scoreless. Telecast presented by the Authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Marlin caps in and about Citi Field. A lot of Dark Knight Batman looks as well for a Matt Harvey start. Marlin fans hoping for a spark in this series. JT Realmuto, Danny Echeverria, and then Dan Herron. And it's been quite a start already for Harvey, who has struck out 5 of the 6 he's faced. And a bouncer wide of third off the bat of Realmuto. He had a couple of hits on Wednesday. 2 for 4 afternoon. 3 hits in that Pittsburgh series.
Well, you look at extra base hits, 5 doubles, 3 triples. The home run.
Granderson got a late start, but he's there now, and he makes the catch.
We don't have to tell you, and the Marlins certainly didn't have to be reminded. It's a tough series, and it starts facing Harvey. A lot of reasons. You remember the 4-game sweep here. You're playing a team that's 20-6 at home. The Mets are this year. And you're facing their ace.
Echeverria now. Harvey's fastball is up. Echeverria just a tick under 300. Had a couple hits, including a double in Pittsburgh. Well, the Marlins have run into some darn good arms. The Fish. You go back to Wednesday. Had to tussle with Garrett Cole. Cole struck out 7 in his 7 innings. Harvey here. Starting pitching has been outstanding for the Mets. In fact, all pitching has been outstanding for the Mets. Their bullpen has been really good as well. Harvey over to Duda. And there's 2 outs. Terry Collins. For Terry Collins, he finally has a team to manage. I mean, you think about the rosters that he's had in his 4 previous years, there was always an area that was really lacking. Last year the pitching was, pretty good, even though Harvey wasn't in the rotation. But their offense hasn't been great. This year, though, the rotation is solid, the bullpen's good, and they're getting offensive production from a variety of spots on the diamond.
And you can say just the opposite for the Marlins, including Jose Fernandez, 4 of the 5 starters right now on the disabled list. Jacob deGrom has pitched well his sophomore season.
Aaron fouls it back. Yeah, in the sweep over the Phillies, that starting pitching was in full display. Wednesday, Noah Syndergaard not only shut out the Phils, but homered. deGrom on Tuesday beat him, and Bartolo Colon on Monday. And Harvey throws a fastball by Dan Herron. First time through, 6 strikeouts for Matt Harvey. And so far, a scoreless game. Marlins and Cubs open up on Monday the 1st. All-you-can-eat seats start that series. KMB Frank's, peanuts, popcorn, nachos, Pepsi, and Aquafina. Just $30. All first responders with an ID receive complimentary tickets on South Florida Heroes Mondays, presented by Outback. Go to marlins.com. Stylistic contrast here. Dan Herron, Matt Harvey.
Just looking at some of the numbers on Dan Herron before the game, he's one of the few pitchers, certainly over his career, he's faced the Mets 12 times. He actually pitched against the Mets at Shea.
And you would think a little more comfortable AB for Harvey against Herron than Herron against Harvey, though Herron had some pretty good swings, and that pitch misses someplace. It's 1-1. Actually was a strike. Had plenty of the plate right at the knees. Bouncer to short. Echeverria on to first. And Harvey is out, number 1.
That's one of those routine plays, and we've seen Etch. I think this is an area where he's really improved. Routine play, two-hopper, you got the pitcher, he's not going up the line hard. You have a tendency not to let it fly and sometimes make a poor throw. And I think those routine plays are an area where we've seen Etch improve over the last couple of years.
I think this year especially. Here's Granderson. Mark Simon of ESPN is the guy that does all the great defensive stats, and he had one that, and still does it, good plays minus bad plays minus errors, to measure some sort of fielding acumen. And Echeverria had more good plays than anybody last year. But he also had more bad plays than the leaders his errors were pretty close to a guy like Simmons. And so as he cleans up the routine play, obviously his defensive numbers will continue to rise.
Boy, and that's just a matter of continued practice, which he does, and then continued concentration every night, night in and night out.
2-2. Granderson turned that shoulder in, and Herron misses. It's 3-2. That is a strike. Came back, caught the plate. First strikeout for Dan Herron. 2 outs in the third. Every Friday is a Marlins Flashback Friday. It's brought to you by Dodge. This Friday, post the best vintage Marlins photo of yourself using the hashtag #FlashbackMarlins. That's tonight. We'll select the best photo and feature it in the postgame show. Dan Herron, a strike to Ruben Tejada. Also tonight, Tommy Hutton, when we get back from our next break, we're going to break out the Pledge Pack phone number. So get your pencils and pens.
Get ready.
And get ready, kids. We're going pledge packing when we return to New York. From Legacy Caps, autographed D. Gordon baseball. There are those Tommy Bahama drink recipe coasters. Christian Yelich gold glove. Bob the Shark makes it in. How about an FS1 really cool water bottle? There's the dry fit shirt from Fox Sports Florida. It's all part of the Fox Sports Fantasy Auction. And that is coming up next Wednesday at home. We'll throw the phone number up. There are operators standing by. Your donation of $150 goes straight to the youth of South Florida. Little League programs, Boys and Girls Club, reviving baseball in the inner city. 305-480-2550 is the number to call. Gordon bunts, and it's a beauty. And he's got himself a base hit. Harvey is absolutely dealing right now. And it's the first hit.
All right, fans, get with it. He bunts for base hits. That's his game. You don't have to boo just because he broke up the no-hitter. That's his game. Watch him take off now, too. Beautiful bunt. not easy to do against a guy as throwing as hard as Harvey. Just when I start to come around with Met fans, they let me down.
Now, come on, Hut. Not all of them are booing. Here's Martin Prado. Gordon's at first. Harvey to the plate, and he throws a strike.
You have to try everything possible now in this situation with the leadoff man on and speed to bring this run home any way you can, because you get the feeling it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah, and you get the feeling that Harvey's going to be in this game for a while. He's been able to get strikeouts, his pitch count in that deep, and he misses to Prado.
For a power pitcher, he's pretty quick to the plate, too.
I think the rumors or the notion that he's going through a dead arm period can be dispelled from watching the first 3+ innings. Gordon runs, pitch is taken outside, and he's in there easily. He had such a big jump. He actually started, stopped, and then started again.
Yeah, he started and was surprised that he didn't get a look from Harvey. Here he is, and then takes off and steals it easily. And as he always does, in this case the pitch was a ball. Even had it been a strike, Prado would have taken it.
And the count's 2-1 on Prado. 20 stolen bases for D. Gordon. Pitch down low, and it's 3-1.
Just to give you a comparison and a difference in this this series, 20 steals for D. Gordon. The Mets as a team have 17.
In the dirt, and Prado takes his walk. And that sets up Harvey and Stanton. In his at-bat in the first inning, Stanton saw nothing but heat. 99, 97, 98.
All of a sudden, Harvey looked a little uncomfortable working out of the stretch with D. Gordon on base.
For Gordon, a milestone steal. 150 in his career. So here's Stanton. Nobody out. .97, and it splits the plate. Look at that. One is out.
You know, sometimes as a hitter, and if you remember, Giancarlo fouled off the first pitch his last AB. And I think he probably just felt, don't want to go after that first pitch again, and took a pretty good pitch.
Plawecki sets up in, and Stanton hits a high fly ball towards the line. Granderson is there. Gordon's tagging, so is Prado. Gordon's on his way to third, and he's in there. At the corners, here comes Bohr, and there's one out. South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready for tomorrow's ball game, and tomorrow's ball game is a 4 o'clock start from Citi Field. That means Marlins Live is at 3:30. Craig Minervini and yet another parade will meet Andre Rienzo, Tom Kohler, and Jonathan Neese when things start. After the parade clears, and they stop kicking dirt on Craig's dress shoes. Bohr hit a liner to the warning track and right. And he drills that one to right, down the line, and deep, and gone. A 3-run shot for Justin Bohr, and Miami has a 3-0 lead.
Justin Bohr has not been intimidated by Matt Harvey at all. He lined out his first time up. He's been aggressive. He jumped on that pitch. Harvey struggling from the stretch. made a mistake, and the big guy took advantage of it and crushed that ball, no doubter. He's soft-spoken and quiet, but he swings a mean bat.
The only question was, would it be fair? And it was a breaking ball that came in, and Bohr turned on it.
That was that slider that's in the low 90s. Slider, kind of a cutter blend.
And you think about the start of the inning, it all started with a 30-foot bunt from D. Gordon, a stolen base, the walk to Prado. As you pointed out, Tommy, Harvey cruising from the windup finally goes from the stretch. And the Marlins get him for 3 runs.
And that bunt single got him in the stretch. So D. Gordon got things going. Picked up his 20th stolen base, 150th of his career.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Marcell Ozuna. Still just 1 out. Little tapper to third. That's Tejada. And he goes across the diamond and gets the out.
Harvey got hurt with a couple of home runs in Pittsburgh. We talked about his last outing, his shortest of his career. Andrew McCutchen, Pedro Alvarez took him deep.
Pittsburgh was not a good place for either of these ball clubs, was it?
No.
And the Marlins running into a Pirate team that hasn't stopped. Winners last night in San Diego.
11-5 win last night. They won their 7th straight.
And Jung Ho Kang went upper tank in left center, and that's not easy to do in San Diego. Yelich takes in. And it's 2-0. Yelich was rung up by Mark Carlson on a pitch that was well outside. That finished his at bat and the inning in the second. We've always said of Yelich, ever since he got to the big leagues, more than any hitter we've seen in the big leagues, when he questions a called strike, he is right maybe 95% of the time. Yelich bangs one into center field. That's a hit.
He's also right with his swing lately. That's a 6-game hitting streak. He's been on a lot of balls. So he's continued his streak with D. Gordon's bunt hit. He has a 7-gamer now, but Christian Yelich now is hitting 6 in a row.
Here's Real Muto. Yelich a threat to run as well. 4 of 5 stolen bases this year. Now, A.J. Burnett, returning to the scene of the crime last night in San Diego, pitched quite well. It's Liriano against Shields tonight. Pirates and Padres. And a strike from Harvey. Counts 0-1. JT, a fly ball out to right. Ball and a strike. Dan Herron seeing his club score 3 times. A quick throw. Yelich is back.
Matt Harvey in this ballpark this year, 3-0. 4 starts at Citi Field, 3-0 with a 2.33 ERA. That's gone up a little bit.
Yelich a bigger lead, not running. And a strike. Outside parts 1 and 2. Justin Bohr, his 2nd homer in 2 games. Real Muto reaches out and taps it back to the mound. Harvey gets the out, but Miami gets 3 runs. Started with a bunt, mix in a walk and a stolen base, and then a blast from Justin Bohr. 3-0 Miami. Chevy dealers. Visit your South Florida Chevy dealers today. By Checkers, get Checkers authentic Philly cheesesteak. Try the new meatball sub. Pick yours. And by Just for Men, mustache and beard, your best beard ever. 3-0. Marlins on top of the Mets. Justin Bour with a 3-run homer. Dan Herron try to protect that lead now. He goes off here in the 4th against Lucas Duda, Daniel Murphy, and Michael Kadire. Duda coming off a bust-out year last year, which he hit 30 homers and drove in 92. Miami shift for the big left-handed bat. He hits one deep to right. Stanton's going to watch that one sail out of here, way out of here. Goodness. A solo shot, and the Mets get one of those runs back right away.
You and I have talked about it, and it's been an area that's hurt Dan Herron, the home run ball. But you know what? If you're going to give one up, make it be a solo shot. And it was a little courtesy move by Giancarlo, but he knew that ball was going to find the upper deck.
So Lucas Duda is 9th of the season, and here's Daniel Murphy. Murphy has bounced out. When the Marlins last saw Daniel Murphy, he was hitting below 200. In the month of May, his average is just over 350. Strike from Herron, and it's 1-2. And as we expected, he's righted himself. Always a guy that is right around that 285 mark. He's a career 290 hitter.
I don't think he expected to be hitting cleanup, though.
Stanton looking up into the night, makes the catch. T-Mobile game changer. There's the turnaround that we talked about. He's hitting 22 of 27. And on a nice run right now, his last 7 games, he's 13 for 27. Michael Kadire now. Pulls it on the ground. Prado across the diamond in time to get Kadire. Mets have 2 hits. They're both extra base hits. Kadire's double, Duda's home run.
And this is what you want to do if you're Dan Herron. You give up the leadoff solo shot. You want to come back and get some quick outs, and he's gotten a couple quick outs afterwards.
Wilmer Flores. While these 2 pitchers are a stark contrast in styles, there is something they do share. Very special honor. They both have been starting pitchers in the All-Star game. Harvey here in New York. That was in 2013, and Herron in 2007 as an Oakland Athletic. Herron would make 2 more All-Star appearances. Bour was headed the wrong way. Gordon gets it to him just as he returns.
Nice adjustment by Justin Bour.
Mets get 1 run back. It's 3-1 Fish. transition from that to Craig Minervini. But I'll just toss it to you, Craig. That looks actually pretty darn good right now.
That looks good, and a big laugh here as the Solano brothers wound up on the kiss cam, and they gave a nice hug at the very end of the tradition around baseball. Hey, after this series, say goodbye to the National League East. Have you seen enough of them? The Marlins have played 31 of 51 after this series against the National League East. That's more than 60% of their schedule. Then they'll have 38 games to go. You see that base hit there by Adeiny Echeverria. Good start again to the 5th inning. The Marlins have 38 left. They'll play more against the Central than anybody else, 16 against the Central and 13 against the NL West, and they'll revisit the AL East with the Yankees, Sox, and also the Blue Jays, so 9 there, but none more against the East until the Phillies in mid-July. The other side of things is very interesting. The Mets have beaten Atlanta, Philly, and Miami 17 out of 22. Against 3 teams 24 under. Against everybody else, they're well under 500. So they have some answers on their team. But one thing for sure, the Marlins, if they're going to move up, they're going to have to handle these Mets and their competition in the division. Guys?
Well, you're right, Craig, about the Mets. They're 10-16 against the rest of baseball. As you pointed out, 17-5 against Miami, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. Herron is bunting. Echeverria away from first. Nice bunt. Harvey going to go to first and get the out. And Miami has a runner in scoring position for D. Gordon and 1 out here in the 5th. Our MLB Geico moment of the night. On this date in 1990, Bud Harrelson replaced Davey Johnson as Mets manager. And the Mets won 71 of the next 120 games and finished second to the Pirates. Back when the Pirates were in the East.
And didn't have to deal with a hard slide from Pete Rose.
That's right. That was an infamous dust-up, right? D. Gordon lashes a fastball into the seats. The Marlins got their 3 runs in the 4th. Matt Harvey had faced the minimum through 3. In fact, he struck out 6 of the first 9. Gordon set down a gorgeous bunt for a hit, then stole second. Prado walked after Stanton flied out. Justin Bohr blasted one out to right into the second deck. Gordon has to skip out of the way of that one. So the corners are tight here, Tejada and Duda.
And all of a sudden, after those first 3 innings, a lot of it because he's worked out of the stretch, you haven't seen as sharp of a Matt Harvey. And give the Marlins hitters credit. They've certainly taken advantage of it.
Gordon getting clarification from Mark Carlson on that one. Prado and then Stanton. And Gordon goes down swinging. Seven strikeouts for Harvey.
Yeah, with the 7, Harvey's career high is 13. His high for the season is 9. But then again, he's not going real deep. He has gone 8 innings, but he's not going consistently deep in games.
Prado takes out. Struck out in the 1st, walked and scored in the 4th. Prado a liner into left field. That's a base hit, and that'll score Echeverria. And Miami has a 4-1 lead.
Well, the 2 starts that Harvey's had against the Marlins this year, they scored 4 back on April 19th here at Citi Field. The Mets scored 7 in that game, so Harvey won. But they've been able to touch him up. We talked about it before the game. His career ERA against the Marlins is over 4.
Now Stanton
Again, another fastball, 3 in a row.
And he fouls it back. First at bat, he fouled it straight back. Second at bat, he took it for a strike. And this time, another foul ball back.
The Marlins are making the most of their base hits. 4 runs on 5 hits.
Oh, 2 to Stanton.
There was some question before the game if Giancarlo still has the longest home run here at Citi Field. Remember that one he hit directly center field? They said Mark Reynolds hit one the other day. Reynolds with the Cardinals. Second deck, but way over in that section near center field.
Swing and a miss. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. But Miami gets another run. Martin Prado drives it in with a single. Diamondbacks and Brewers at 4 Eastern. 7 Eastern, Baseball Night in America on Fox, the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox and Fox Sports 1.
And our own Preston Wilson will be working that Diamondbacks-Brewers game.
Very nice. You'll have to tune in and listen. Here's Juan Lagares. Kevin Plawecki, Matt Harvey also coming up in the 5th. Little ground ball to Bohr at first, a flip. And Herron, sensing he wasn't going to get there in time, as resourceful as he is on the mound, he's also that way in the field. He just turned and tagged him out.
Shows you the speed of Lagares getting up the line. He made that closer than I think we all thought. But nicely done on both ends. Not sure if Bohr could have gotten to the bag, but you're right. Herron saw that he wasn't going to get there, but okay, I'll just tag him. That's the importance of getting over there quickly.
Tommy, I know you haven't ordered your pledge pack yet. It goes online tomorrow. You'll be able to order.
I wait till it goes online.
You'll be able to order online tomorrow. But tonight, if you've got a phone and you want to beat the crowd and get in on the pledge packs with the D. Gordon autographed baseball, it's a good night to do it. There's your number, 305-480-2550. Write the number down, 305-480-2550. 480-2550. There are operators standing by. The pledge packs, the precursor to the fantasy auction, which is next week. We're very proud of that here at Fox Sports. And there's a lot of young kids in Miami and South Florida depending on us to raise money. So some very cool stuff in there, stuff that you can't get in a store. Can't get an authenticated D. Gordon baseball, can you? Fox Sports dry fit shirt. One of those legacy, well, you can buy a Marlins legacy cap, the fitted cap, at the team store. But we threw one in the pledge pack this year, and you get to choose between black or red-orange.
You think the red-orange would go on the golf course?
I do.
Okay.
I do. It's a sweet look, and it's fitted. You have small, medium, or large, Tommy. Whatever size your cabeza, you can dial it in.
Hey, as big as the 3-run homer was, I thought the run in the top half of the fifth every bit as important, because it was an answer back from the Lucas Duda home run. It was if to say, all right, we're not going to roll over. This team's not going to let this Met team catch up. And it was a good answer to the Duda home run. I like that.
The outset of the telecast, I used the word spark, that Miami is looking for a spark. And certainly it's a ball club that needs it. They've dropped 3 in a row, 11 of their last 13. Justin Bour providing a 3-run homer. And swinging a miss by Harvey, and Dan Herron is through 5 and looking sharp. Miami has a 4-1 lead. Homer getting ready to go. Half Price Tuesday. You can rewrite the future on June 2nd. It's Cubs and Marlins. It's a social media night. It celebrates Back to the Future 2. And it's Miami versus the Cubs World Series preview. Pick up the social media night package at marlins.com/special events. Get yourself a game ticket, limited edition t-shirt, and more. And here is Bour. Justin Bour in the 4th. The Warren Henry drive of the game. Blasting one up in the upper deck, and the fastball misses away. Bour hit a scorching liner that sent Curtis Granderson back into that little alcove in right field on the warning track for an out in the 2nd. Lifts this one in the air to center. Lagares is there, makes the catch.
Maybe because we're here in New York, you start to see some comparisons a little bit in Justin Bour and Lucas Duda. You know, he came on the scene, they put him in left field, he struggled a little bit offensively, then had a 30 home run season last year. Both big left-handed bats, guys with plus power. And I think Justin Bour, much better first baseman.
Duda homering into that upper deck in this ball game as well. Ozuna fouls it back. Marcell Ozuna is struck out and bounced out. Matt Harvey, Dan Herron, the contrasting starters. Herron 5 innings, 2 hits, a run, a walk, 3 strikeouts. 5 1/3 for Harvey, 5 hits, 4 runs, 8 strikeouts. Ozuna to left. Kadire went back, now comes in and makes a catch. 2 fly ball outs here in the 6th. Our Toyota trend tonight. Home wins. The Mets are really, really good here at Citi Field. Marlins found out about the Dodgers as well. But the Mets are 20-6 here in Gotham. Christian Yelich called out on strikes in the 2nd and then singled the center loudly in the 4th. Ball and a strike. It's Tom Verducci of Sports Illustrated, MLB Network, that coined the term the Dark Knight, tying it into Gotham. Fastball in, and it's ironic that Harvey had a bad start in Pittsburgh, which is where they filmed a lot of the last Batman. I think it was The Dark Knight Rises.
A Pittsburgh native, Michael Keaton, I don't believe was in that one.
No, he was one of the first Batmen. Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton. Swing and a miss by Yelich at a high fastball, and Harvey goes 1-2-3 in the 6th. Bottom of the 6th, Dan Herron back on the bump, 4-1 Miami. Just dig right in. On June 18th, the American tradition comes to Fox and Fox Sports 1. First time the greatest golfers in the world will converge on the Pacific Northwest for a chance to stamp their names in the history books. Our exclusive coverage of the 115th U.S. Open Championship. Chambers Bay Golf Course is gorgeous, just south of Tacoma, Washington. June 18th on Fox 1, Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Dan Herron into the bottom of the 6th. Matt Harvey came out like gangbusters and struck out 5 of the first 6. Herron, slow and steady with ground balls and fly balls and off-speed pitches, has a 4-1 lead. And he misses up to Curtis Granderson, Ruben Tejada, Lucas Duda, also scheduled to appear here in the 6th. It just misses low, and it's 2-2. Granderson lifts one to right. That's deep. And that one is gone. And Dan Herron has given up another solo homer.
So 3 hits for the Mets, a double and 2 solo home runs. Both home runs well hit. A breaking ball, a slider down and in, maybe a cutter. Didn't get it in quite far enough. And Granderson swinging a pretty good bat. Dan Herron knew it as soon as he hit it.
Liner into left and a base hit for Tejada. And so the Mets have a homer and a single to open up the 6th.
Watch the reaction of Dan Herron on this home run ball. Yeah, he knew. A pitcher usually knows.
Now Lucas Duda. So Curtis Granderson, a solo homer. Granderson's 4th career homer in 42 at-bats against Herron. Duda lifted one up into the upper deck his last time up, and Herron misses in.
You always talk, Rich, about the slash line, batting average, on base, and slugging. Lucas Duda, one of 5 National League players. Over 300 batting average, over 400 on base, and over 500 slugging.
If the Mets get that from Duda all year, they have to be quite pleased.
Absolutely.
Marlins with that defensive shift have Prado over in his old stomping grounds at second. Gordon is in the hole there. And Echeverria out near second base. Tejada's the runner at first. Duda takes out. And it is 2-1. 9 home runs now for Duda. And a strike. So Duda has 9 homers. Who's second on the Mets in home runs?
Well, Granderson has 6 now. Wilmer Flores with 7.
There you go. How about that? Wilmer Flores, second on the Mets in home runs. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout of Lucas Duda. There's one out, and here comes Daniel Murphy.
Real good breaking ball here. Had to be to get a guy like Duda. Buried it down and in and got him to chase it.
Daniel Murphy digs in. It's one of the things that Herron has been susceptible to this season, and that's the long ball. He's given up 10 home runs, but 8 of the 10 have been solo shots. God rest his soul, Jim Catfish Hunter used to have that same trait. That one's bounced up the middle, might be 2. Echeverria on the feed from Gordon, and Murphy bounces into an inning-ending double play. The Mets get another one back, another solo shot, this time Curtis Granderson.
catch up with them during the series. 4-2. Mets got one back, but the Marlins got another big double play, and that adds to their league-leading inducing total as Dan Herron threw the double play. Look at this, the ground ball percentage. The White Sox lead Major League, but the Marlins and the Mets are right up there inducing ground balls. Keep the ball on the ground. You usually get some outs and often double plays, and the Marlins now have 22. That leads the Major Leagues in induced ground ball double plays. So big one for Dan Herron as the Fish lead by 2. Guys?
You know, Craig, Perry Hill certainly the orchestra leader when it comes to infield defense. One thing that the Marlins have done from the very start of this year is play catch and field the ball. They continue to lead the National League in fielding percentage. Marlins have made just 17 errors this year. That's 3 better than Arizona and the Dodgers. In stark contrast to the Cubs, Milwaukee, and Washington, who are at the basement in defensive numbers. Dan Jennings hoping that his ball club can open up this series with a win here on a Friday night against Matt Harvey. Pulled down the line.
You know, you talked about Washington. They're overcoming their defensive deficiencies with an extremely strong starting staff that remains pretty healthy. And certainly offense, certainly Bryce Harper, who leads in a lot of categories.
Harvey thought he had a strikeout on his 85th pitch. And they were just off the edge. It's close. Another bouncer, Tejada, makes the throw and gets the out. It is a Flashback Friday. And it's brought to you by Dodge. Post your best vintage Marlins photo. Use the hashtag FlashbackMarlins. And we will select the best photo and feature it in the post-game show. Actually, Tommy and I have removed ourselves from that process.
From the flashback process?
Right. There was a lot of heat after the first 2 weeks when we selected some flashback vintage photos of Marlins past. That one into the corner. Granderson watches it go up into the seats. I chose Donnie Bleep and Murphy.
Yeah, and I had a wonderful flashback picture of Joe Angel.
So there, we kind of eliminated ourselves from the process. Oh, 2 to Echeverria. Fastball up. Well, now Harvey sits at 89, and you wonder if he came out of the chutes throwing too hard. I mean, watching those first 2 innings, my gosh, he was at 98, 99, and he blew away 5 of the first 6 that he faced. He retired the first 9 he faced with 6 strikeouts, and then the Marlins jumped him in the 4th for 3, the Justin Bour 3-run homer, the big shot.
Yeah, it's been kind of a unique game for Matt Harvey. Gave up the 3-run blast to Justin Bour. He's 1 away from his season high in strikeouts.
Etch on an elevated fastball, swings and misses. And here comes Dan Herron. Fish Family is the loyalty program of the Marlins and Marlin fans. Fish Family members can get bonus points during every road telecast on Fox Sports Florida. And your bonus code tonight is Road Trip. Go to marlins.com/Fish Family. Road Trip. There are Fish Family members on this trip, the loyalty program.
Oh, look at that.
Dan Herron shoots one to right.
That's what got him to Pepperdine.
That's right. So Herron singles. And up comes D. Gordon.
Well, you and I have talked about it a lot. Anytime a pitcher, especially one who's been around as long as Dan Herron, Dan, 34 years old. Anytime a pitcher has a career batting average over 200, you know he's done a little damage. And that's where Herron sits.
D. Gordon bounces one over the middle. Murphy has it. Backhands to Flores. And the Marlins are done. 7th inning stretch in New York. Miami, a 4-2 lead. With a 2-run lead, H.H. Gregg high-def highlights for Dan Herron.
We talked about how he cuts the fastball, throws Granderson with that. He'll use his slider. We've seen some curveballs. We've seen some splits. Dan Herron has kept the hitters off balance. He's given up a couple of solo home runs. And that's it. There's a comparison to these two pitchers. A season-high 10 strikeouts for Harvey. He got muscled up by Justin Bour, and then a big run the next inning on a Martin Prado base hit. It's been a well-pitched game. Now, if you're Dan Jennings and you're in the dugout, you're thinking an inning or two ahead. Obviously, you would love, because Herron right now has thrown 70 pitches. You would love to be able to have Dan Herron get through this inning. Keep in mind now he threw 115 his last start. You'd love to have him low pitch inning here, get through it, and then have him pitch the 8th as well. Then you got A.J. Ramos. If not, then you have to start thinking who you want to pitch in the 8th, who may be coming up for the Mets, and looking at it that way.
Carter Capps is up first in the pen. Kadire pulls one, and the count is 1-2. Michael Kadire, Wilmer Flores, Juan Lagares for the Mets. And the Mets bullpen is working as well. Kadire's doubled and bounced out. Herron trying to pick at the corner, and you see he rolled his head thinking he had a strike 3. The count is 2-2. And that one misses as well. Bouncer to Gordon. Gets the out. So Herron has the first out of the 7th. Remember, tomorrow's game starts at 4, 3:30 for Marlins Live. Chevron brings you the starters. That would be Tom Kohler and Jonathan Neese. Marlins and Mets tomorrow here at Citi Field. Flores, who has bounced to second twice. The Marlins have accomplished something. They've been able to pitch to Wilmer Flores when the bags aren't loaded.
Here's another thing. If you're DJ in that dugout, that goes through your mind when you're thinking about Herron, how long you want to get him. If it gets to the 8th inning, you might come back to the top of the order. You have Granderson, who's taking him deep, possibly Duda. So then you may lean toward a hard-throwing Carter Capps to pitch that inning.
Chuck Hernandez next to Dan Jennings. That one fouled back. Flores, as I mentioned, a guy that when he does damage against the Marlins, it's a grand slam or a 3-run homer. 4 home runs in 15 career games. Pokes that one foul. Aaron misses away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Soft serve right field. Stanton slides and makes the catch. Nicely done.
Well, we've seen Giancarlo make some outstanding defensive catches just on this road trip alone. I'm thinking about the one he made in Pittsburgh up against the scoreboard, the fence in right field. This one off the end of the bat. Terrific jump. Goes down into the slide. You always risk maybe losing it in the lights. He stayed with it and put it away.
Randi Vision Cam. Keep your eye on the ball. Randi.com/Lasix. Oh, 1.
Well, you have to admire the way Dan Herron's come out here tonight. I mean, I think he probably has gotten himself up a little bit. Probably the same all the time, but knowing that he's going up against a Matt Harvey, it's a real challenge, and he's really stood up to this challenge.
You know, you also have to tip your cap to a guy like Herron, the way he's conducted himself here in these last, I mean, really the 2 months of the season. But when things have really gotten tough in and around this ball club, Herron seems to have lifted his game, helped some of the younger players from a leadership standpoint, and been very impressive with the way he's carried himself.
Yeah, he has quietly done a terrific job with some of the other pitchers and helping them out.
High pop-up. Bohr should have room, does have room, and makes the catch. And Dan Herron goes 1, 2, 3. He's 88 pitches in and leading 4-2 in New York. In New York, Miami leading the Mets. Going to the 8th. Slice it up. That's kind of what Dan Herron has done to the Mets. 2 solo homers, but a 4-2 lead. All right, pledge packs, Tommy. A chance if you're at home and you want to pick up the phone and be a part of the fantasy auction. A $150 donation gets you all kinds of cool stuff. Headlined by an authenticated, autographed D. Gordon baseball, a Fox Sports Florida dry fit shirt, a Legacy Marlins cap in either red, orange, or black, and a lot of other cool stuff from Tommy Bahama, MLB Network, all of that. There's the phone number to call. Martin Prado takes in from Matt Harvey. That phone number again is 305-480-2550. There are operators manning the phones tonight. We appreciate all your support. That one comes back and hangs up, and Duda makes a nifty catch along the rail. And that retires Prado here in the 8th.
All right, Will Stanton for the 4th AB. CA first pitch fastball. First AB fouled it off. Second AB took it. Third AB, he fouled it off.
Does Harvey throw him another one? Does he take a rip at it? Let's see.
No, he didn't.
He bounces one. Prado had the RBI single in the 5th. That added Miami's 4th run. A Justin Bour 3-run homer took care of the first 3. And a breaking ball from Harvey is out. So Harvey and Herron are still in there. Pitch number 100 is coming up from Harvey. The 2-0. And it's out. Now, 3-0 count. Live fastball.
It's a good time because you know he's seen it a lot tonight. So he could get right on it. He tried.
And Plawecki took the brunt of that. And he's not feeling too good right now. A little courtesy from Mark Carlson to make sure that Mets catcher is okay. Let's see where it got him. Right on that left knee. It's a good slider from Harvey, who comes back to run the count full to Stanton 3-2. Stanton has not had good numbers in his career against Harvey. And a fastball, he swings and misses. He has punched out 3 times tonight. 2 outs. AT&T Rewind, brought to you by AT&T Uverse, which has more live TV channels on the go than cable. Justin Bour with 2 on in the 4th.
Well, a slider. Now you see it, now you don't. And the key to that is it was a 3-run shot. The inning started with a bunt single from D. Gordon.
Bour hit a warning track shot in the 2nd to deep right. What do they call that alcove now? Now there's a big Honda sign there. It used to be the Mo Zone. Was it Mo's Sporting Goods? Got to go to Mo's.
I thought it was welcome to Mo's.
Hey, you got to go to Mo's. That used to be the alcove in right. Of course, they've moved the dimensions twice since this ballpark opened. Bour pops it. Flores is out. Kadyr's in, and it's Kadir who makes the catch. A 1-2-3-8. 4-2 Miami. exits the ball game. And the Fish go into their pen. Sam Dyson for Miami. Dyson will get 8-9-1 in the Mets order.
All right, here were the choices of Dan Jennings. We saw Capps warming up. You saw the pitch count of Dan Herron. He could have gone with Herron to start the inning and at least face Plawecki and the pinch hitter, and then kind of take it from there with the top of the order coming back up. Capps could have come in to finish things in the 8th. He could have started the 8th inning with Carter Capps, who we also saw warming up. And DJ goes with Sam Dyson, who struggled his last time out in Pittsburgh.
And it looks like Dan Jennings has got 2 arms just in case with Carter Capps and Mike Dunn in the bullpen. So Dyson enters, Kevin Plawecki, and then a pinch hitter. And then you've got Curtis Granderson. 4-2, Marlins on top. In New York, where the Mets are very, very good. They are 20-6 at home this year. First pitch, pop foul, and out of play. Dyson trying to bounce back from his Wednesday, and that was in Pittsburgh. A couple of walks and a couple of hits and 3 runs in the late innings.
Looks like the left-handed bat of recently called up Daryl Ceciolani on deck. A couple of choices, Danny Muno and Ceciolani.
Bouncer to third. Prado on the money. Out number 1 for Sam Dyson here in the 8th. MLB.TV Premium. You know it's the #1 live streaming sports service. But did you know you also, if you subscribe, get real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widgets, and more? And it includes a free At-Bat 15 subscription. At home, in the office, or on the go. Every night on every device. Visit MLB.TV for details. Torres, the right-hander in New York's bullpen. Siciliani. And he takes strike 1.
Putting up big numbers in AAA Las Vegas, 336. 5 home runs in 37 games.
Mets have been able to dip down into Las Vegas this year and have some success.
A guy like Ceciolani will probably replace Kirk Neuenhuis on their roster.
Neuenhuis was sent down, actually exposed to waivers, and then traded subsequently to the Angels. Dyson misses low.
Notice Ceciolani going with no batting gloves.
Pretty good pitch. And they count 2-2.
One of the frustrating parts about the bullpen and their struggles is that they have everyone down there has had that outing where they have been tremendous. And you just want to see that consistency.
Siciliani, a junior college player out of Columbia Basin Community College.
All right, in Pasco, Washington. Western or Eastern Washington?
More central Washington and southern central Washington. You get into that Columbia Basin. Fastball elevated at 95. And down goes Siciliani.
And that's what's impressive about Sam Dyson. And that's what's frustrating about Sam Dyson. He has the stuff. There is no question about it. You see him blow away a hitter like that, get a couple of quick outs, it's certainly encouraging.
$33,880 in the park tonight. And here is Granderson. Well, for Dyson to come in here and be able to get through this 8th would certainly be a nice shot of confidence coming off of Wednesday. And in a much bigger picture, I think for this ball club, a win here tonight would be a big shot in the arm.
It would be huge. It would be huge.
To right, Stanton is over and there, and a nice 1-2-3 inning by Sam Dyson, backing up Dan Herron. Into the 9th we go. South Florida Honda dealers. By Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at FloridaCoastEQ.com. And by H.H. Gregg, top brands, low prices, fast delivery. Gregg's got it. The stop between Citi Field and the U.S. Tennis Center. The roof on Ash Stadium is in the process of being built.
Kind of a new look over at the tennis center. And there's a look at Carlos Torres, who comes in to work this 9th inning. Of course, the Mets have the left-hander Alex Torres in their bullpen as well.
Carlos Torres fires a fastball. Marcell Ozuna knocks it foul. Christian Yelich, JT Real Muto. This was a pitching duel. Two very different starters. The fireballing Dark Knight, Matt Harvey, and the veteran Dan Herron. Ozuna up the middle. Murphy on to first. The line score for both. Dan Herron, 7 innings. 4 runs, 2 earned. A look at A.J. Ramos in the bullpen. Herron struck out 4, walked 1, and threw just 88 pitches. Harvey threw 105. He struck out 11, but he also gave up 4 runs on 6 hits.
Yeah, we talked about Harvey, his career high 13 strikeouts, season high tonight with his 11.
Yelich swings and misses. Christian Yelich, a 1-for-3 night. Mets will have 2, 3, 4 due up in the bottom of the 9th, and Ramos getting ready. Miami getting a scoreless 8th from Sam Dyson. Yelich's average up over 210 now, sits at 212. Pulls that ground ball to the right side. Duda around it, gets the out. Make sure you stay tuned after the game for Marlins Live, and it's presented by Checkers. Justin Bour, a 3-run homer. Dan Herron and Matt Harvey dueling. Here's Real Muto.
Good slider there by Carlos Torres.
If you're looking for answers as to why the Mets have had such a nice run this season, the rotation's been outstanding. They've had some timely hitting, and they've actually scored some runs. But the bullpen's been really good, especially this month. Mets pen has the 3rd lowest ERA in the bigs this month. AJ Ramos coming in for the save in the 9th. Miami. AJ Ramos comes in looking to nail down the win, nail down a save. The apprentice closer so far has passed both tests.
Well, in his 2 opportunities, picked up his first career save at Dodger Stadium. That was number 1 in his hometown. Then save number 2 came in the 2nd game of that Orioles series. And I'll tell you what, over his last 11 outings, AJ Ramos has allowed just 2 hits. He struck out 10 in 10 1/3 innings during that time. You see the overall numbers. Opponents batting .118 against AJ Ramos, who tries to nail it down and gets save number 3.
Ruben Tejada, Lucas Duda, Daniel Murphy, anybody reaches, Michael Kadire, and Wilmer Flores. The Mets have 2 runs on 4 hits, a pair of solo homers, Curtis Granderson and Lucas Duda. Miami 4 runs, 6 hits. Justin Bour has a 3-run home run. Ramos opens with a fastball that just misses.
Think about this, Rich. Every closer has a little extra weight on their shoulders. Think about the extra weight on AJ's shoulders. With the way things have gone, the struggles, winning games, and then coming in here where the Marlins were swept earlier this year. Trying to snap a streak, trying to get out of things. A little extra weight on his shoulders tonight, I'm sure.
Counts 1-2. Ramos, a closer and a real good one coming up in the minor leagues. Has been a nice bullpen piece. And his chance to close. He has taken that role and so far run with it.
He's got the stuff. He has all the qualifications. He just needed the experience at this level.
Up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. And Tejada, a solid single to center. Coors Light, cold hard facts. Which players have got college teams in the NCAA regionals? A pair of Marlins. And Lucas Duda and his USC Trojans are in there.
What about Stony Brook?
How about Stony Brook? We'll talk about that tomorrow. Now it's Duda. And Ramos misses in. 33,000 are coming to life right now. The Mets here in the bottom of the ninth.
And I don't think anybody's left. They know the way their ball club has played at home.
Infield shifted. And Ramos gets a strike. Duda hit a breaking ball, and he hit it a country mile. A high, towering shot that was well up into the second deck and straight away right field. Dan Herron gave up 2 homers, both solo shots. Bounces. Real Muto has it. Fires to second. He is safe. Echeverria with the tag. Echeverria wants a challenge. Dan Jennings starts the process.
Well, what a quick reaction play by JT Real Muto. I don't think Tejada thought the ball would get there that quickly, but it popped up in the air and JT was right with it.
And I'll tell you what, the pick and the tag by Echeverria was super as well. Here's super slow motion. Let's see if he got him.
He's trying the swim move. He's trying the swim move, and he gets tagged before he gets to the bag.
No challenge.
Now, from that angle, it was hard to tell if the glove was on the arm when it got to the bag.
Boy, that's a huge swing. No challenge there. And Tejada survives at second base. So Duda with the count 2-1. And he swings and misses at a changeup. Here's another look from this angle.
Can't tell there.
There's no way to tell there. Two. He gwints.
Yeah, he did.
And that's a strikeout. Duda goes down. Ramos gets the punch out.
That's part of the weaponry we talked when we mentioned A.J. Ramos, who has more ways to get you out. Yeah, he went a lot. He's got the curveball, he's got the changeup, he's got the fastball.
Now it's Murphy, who was 0 for 3. Tejada, the runner at second. Murphy hits a little flare in the left. Echeverria's out. Oh, collision. Echeverria and Yelich. Yelich is up. Murphy races to second, and he gets there. Echeverria still down. The Mets are within a run, and there's one out.
Boy, a good pitch by A.J. Ramos. A little dinker off the end of the bat. Just out of the reach of Etch. They're both sliding. They collide. Let's hope Yelich and Echeverria are all right, and it looks like they are.
Wow.
That a knee came in and got Etch.
And that play at second looms larger now. So the Mets are within one. There's one out. Here's Michael Kadire. And it's a double for Murphy. Kadire a double in 3 trips. Most of the 33,000 are on their feet. Outside corner. And it's 0-1. A trip from Real Muto. Tyne runs at second. 0-1 coming. When the Mets swept the Marlins in early April, Michael Kadire was in the middle of every big rally. Whether he was moving a runner, scoring a runner with an out, or driving him in with a hit, he had a nice series.
We talked about it earlier. A 195 hitter on the road, but near 330 here at Citi Field for Kadire.
Wilmer Flores on deck. 2-1 coming to Kadire. Breaking ball and a great pitch to throw in that spot. Kadire was all juiced up for the fastball.
Yeah, he was.
So it's 2-2. Just got a piece.
That's a veteran hitter just staying alive on a really good pitch.
Ramos ready. 2-2. Got him. Boy, the bottom dropped out of that one. Ramos' second strikeout of the inning, and now a guy that has had numerous big hits at Miami's expense over the last 2 years. Wilmer Flores comes up.
Yeah, you have to keep telling yourself and remind yourself, if you're AJ out there, he made a good pitch to Murphy. Had him fooled. He hit it off the end of the bat. He made a great pitch to Kadire to strike him out. Now he's got to stay right with that and make good pitches to Flores.
This is game number 16. He's got 4 homers. They've all been big ones. Off the end of the bat, Ramos is hit by the runner. Was the ball in fair territory?
Yeah, it looked like the ball, right as AJ got there, was trickling into foul territory. Had spin on it. Yeah, it was foul right there.
I don't know that they made contact either. From our angle, it almost looked like they brushed, but watching there,
AJ put the brakes on.
Yes, he did. Flores is back. Murphy resides at second. His bloop double knocked in Tejada and has brought the Mets within a run in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. Little squiver. Bohr has it, gets to the bag. Ball game. Miami wins it. The Marlins hang on. A.J. Ramos nails it down for Dan.